American Psycho is a novel by the American author Bret Easton Ellis, published in 1991. Ellis is an American writer and screenwriter born in 1964 in Los Angeles to a wealthy alcoholic father and a housewife mother. The distant attitude towards personal relationships probably dates back in 1982 when his parents found themselves facing divorce. However, the young man becomes passionate about writing and decides to embark on this career. He studied at Bennington College in Vermont and attended a course of creative writing in which it was helped by Joe McGinnis, his teacher and author of the book Fatal Vision. After 2 years in 1985, he published his first book, entitled Less Than Zero, which led him to gradually gain success. Then follows the publication of the book, The Rules of Attraction, but only in 1991, Bret Easton Ellis publishes his most significant work, American Psycho, which confirms him as a successful writer worldwide. American Psycho is based on the life of Patrick Bateman, a young Wall Street broker who lives in Manhattan and leads a wealthy life. Patrick is handsome and rich. He has a rich but superficial girlfriend. He is a very famous yuppie and, together with his colleagues, he wears expensive clothes, attends the most beautiful restaurants of the city, and he goes to all the most popular parties, sniffing cocaine and drinking alcohol. But Patrick Bateman is also something else. The elegant and rich boy next door becomes a cruel man who tortures and kills girls, vagrants, and animals. The psychopathic, sadistic, and revolting murderer who is not afraid to kill even in daylight. This Patrick has no limits nor pity for his victims, but is guided by envy towards his colleagues, by the contempt of the weakest, and by the superficiality which surrounds him. The book led to the homonymous movie of 2000, directed by Mary Harron, starring the magnificent Christian Bale. The film adaptation perfectly captures the spirit of the book, reproducing quite faithfully the long monologues of the protagonist and representing in detail the scenes of crimes and superficial worldliness, in which nothing is really important and everything becomes superfluous. In the book, however, the descriptive and manic narration of the detail is even longer, since Ellis dedicates entire chapters to the description of the discography of various bands, including the Genesis. There are significant differences between the book and the movie, starting from the structure itself. Since they are extracts from Patrick's daily life, the chapters of the book are interchangeable and are not connected to each other, while in the movie the sequence of the episodes seems to be slightly more logical. The first difference that can be seen is the opening scene of the story. The book, in fact, opens with Patrick and his colleagues who go by taxi to a party at his girlfriend's house, while in the movie they are all at a restaurant and the scene of this party is completely absent. In addition, there are many other differences. First of all, the book, unlike the film, is not set in the office, but, for the most part, outside in clubs and restaurants. In the written work, Patrick often mentions a talk show that he usually watches in the morning and for which he is obsessed, but in the movie it's not included. The young broker loves good clothes and he also likes to talk about them, going on a lot in describing them, which in the movie doesn't happen. The movie's director has even cut the brutal murder of Patrick's ex-fiancée and many details of the boy's daily life. Many events, situations, or characters of the book are omitted, changed, or later presented in the movie. But this doesn't compromise the movie at all, which remains compelling and shocking at the same time. American Psycho was a bomb within the American narrative landscape, as violence initially reigned on the scene and concealed the real message of denunciation against that society of the 80s, for which worldliness and appearances were the most important factors, and where everything had the same weight and everything was seen with the same superficiality. One of the main themes is certainly the comparison between reality and appearance. Patrick himself embodies both, looking on the one hand like a rich, elegant, intelligent, and handsome man, but actually being a ruthless serial killer. The appearance that Patrick builds with his good looks, his well-tended skin, and his expensive clothes cannot hold back what he really is. Another very important theme is that of unconsciousness, testified by the fact that many times the characters themselves are confused with each other, calling themselves by wrong names as if recognizing a person was not important at all, but especially by the fact that Bateman repeatedly confesses to his friends or colleagues his crimes, but no one seems to take him seriously or really listen to him. Last but not least, greed is a constant. All the characters, in fact, at some point prove to have it, but the one who expresses it more than the others is obviously Patrick. He is out for money, even though he is already rich. He is out for power, which is reflected even during his sexual intercourse, and he is out for blood, which he cannot control nor even stop. Greed reflects exactly the high society of the time. The great American society is strongly criticized since it was not noble at all and whose only purpose was to form men greedy for money, devoid of any form of ethics and morals, perfect in appearance but superficial in soul, for which everything was placed on the same level. The main reason why I decided to present this work was because of my passion for crime and criminology in general. The first thing that strikes the reader is the structure with these disconnected chapters, the elegance of the register used, and this sort of stream of consciousness of the protagonist that does not limit his thoughts. What attracts is precisely the substantial difference that is outlined with any other detective book. Ellis manages to make the psychology and madness of the character in such a deep and realistic way that few detective writers can do. This leads the reader to wonder in the end if Bateman really did get stained with those horrible mothers, or if it happened all in his head. Another reason why I decided to present American Psycho is linked to my personal considerations about the work. It's a book that exactly reflects its main character. There are exciting chapters in which the reader witnesses the unbridled adventures of the Wall Street broker and his colleagues, and long, boring chapters which focuses on the description of the character's favorite music bands or the good clothes he wears. Likewise, Patrick may seem like a boring man for the perfect life he leads, marked by restaurants and luxury parties, tailoring, morning skin cleansing rituals, and gymnastic exercises, but at the same time compelling when he turns into a murderer. It is an interesting book, precisely for its originality and for its reflection and denouncing the uses of an apparently perfect but really rotten society. It is not a book suitable for everyone, since it presents various scenes of violence, described in detail by Bateman himself, characterized by the total absence of mercy or remorse, but rather by satisfaction, pleasure, and fun. Finally, the character played by Christian Bale can only perfect on the big screen the Bateman described by Ellis, providing the audience with a great, exciting, and elegant performance.